How's it going, everybody? Since I'm doing it anyways, I figure I might as well make a video showing you guys how to do a brick wall if you ever wanted to. What I have is a piece of ready board foam board that my wife picked up for me today when she hit the Dollar Tree. Cost $1. You can see it's a pretty large piece, about 3 by 4, I think. So that's a lot of wall, but I'm not going to be using a 3 by 4 piece. I'm going to be doing a small piece for my project. And let's get right to it. What you're going to need is a ruler, X-Acto knife, and a pencil. Of course, you draw out your pattern or what have you, whatever size pattern you're going with for your project. And basically I use a ruler as a guide to keep my pattern. Now, to cut all the way through, you're gonna possibly need to make several passes. And also, I recommend a cutting board. That way you aren't screwing up whatever's in your house. Alright. So, here's my little piece. And what I'm going to do is both sides have paper on them, like a paper cover. Kind of like a sticker, I guess, in a way. But there's a paper cover to the foam that you just want to kind of peel off. And it comes up pretty easily. Just make sure you don't snap your piece of foam when you're doing this. Now, the next step that we're going to do, I'm using this for a 1/12 scale. So my bricks are going to be a 1/4 inch apart. So what I'm going to do is come all the way down. Hold on, let me check that. That would be awful. Okay, good. Make sure I'm going in the right direction. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come all the way down this piece, and I'm going to make tick marks at a 1/4 inch apart all the way down the piece. So what you're going to get, if I can focus it, yeah, there we go. See, there's a whole bunch of scores in it from the pencil. Then I'm going to take and do the same thing on the other side. 1/4 inch all the way down. Now, if you were doing 1/6 scale, I would assume you're going to be using a 1/2 inch instead of a 1/4 inch. And likewise, for any other scale that you're using, you would have to accommodate the measurements to that scale. What we're going to do, once you have your tick marks on both sides, you're just going to put the ruler across and match up the tick marks going across. Then you're going to take your X-Acto knife and just go straight across. I'm going to use the ruler as a guide because my freehand might not be great. And we're just going to score the piece of foam. You don't want to cut all the way through because, well, you want it to be a wall. You don't want it to be in pieces. So basically, you're just going to go all the way down and cutting from tick to tick. Mark. Whoop, 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 whoop. Yeah, pretty soon I'm going to have to flip the ruler around because I'm down at the bottom. And I'm going to use the other side. That way I keep my ruler flat on the piece of foam. Alright. Now I got lines going all the way down, which you may or may not see. Yeah, there you go. You see I scored it, I cut into it, but I didn't cut all the way through. The next step is what you're going to do. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch measurement, and what I'm going to do is just kind of center where I want my bricks to be. So with this particular piece, I have an overhang of about 1/4 inch on each side. Now you can do yours however you want, of course, but this is just how I'm gonna do this one for me. And what I'm going to do is I'm gonna mark it at a 1/2 inch all the way down. Now, ideally, you could turn the ruler around and just mark the same as you did up there. But it's not always going to work out like that because of the fact that, you know, it depends on how many rows of bricks you have. Bricks are staggered. So you want to make sure that you count your lines of bricks so you come up with an odd number. If you don't have an odd number, then you're going to want to go back one of the lines of bricks. In other words, rather than starting from here, you're going to want to start from here. But let's see here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There we go. So it does line up at the bottom. So what I'm going to do is line up the ruler again, that same somewhat 1/4 inch measurement with the hang off. And I'm going to mark at each 1/2 inch down here. Now, you can just score it from here, but what I'm going to do is use my pencil to mark every other, because I don't want to get confused and accidentally cut what I don't want cut. So I'm just going to line it up with each of the 1/2 inch marks that I made, top and bottom, and just go from the top and, to the bottom, marking my bricks every other line. Hear my youngin' in the background. Alright. Now, you can use a ruler if you want to. As you can see, I have half of the bricks already drawn out. You can use a ruler if you want to and go all the way down in between the same way I did. Or you could just go in between just like I did here and just make your marks. And repeat that going all the way down. That way you have staggered bricks in your wall, because the bricks aren't just going to line up. They never build that way. If they did, everything would fall apart. Alright, and what we're going to do is go right down the line and make score marks for the lateral side of the bricks. Like I said, all you're doing is scoring. Don't go all the way through. Don't get too excited. Alright, so as you can see, I have my bricks cut. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is grab your pencil. It doesn't have to be entirely sharp, and if you want your bricks closer together, then you can always sharpen it up. I use a piece of sandpaper. It's a little artist tool to sharpen up my lead if I need to. But what you're going to do is you're going to go down the line and just kind of separate the bricks from each other in the foam. So what the pencil does is basically put spaces in between your bricks where your mortar would be. You just go in between, just like so. You can round them off, make some weird shapes in them, and just do it with your pencil and get some spacing. That way it looks like a real wall. Or real brickwork. Whatever the case may be for whatever project you are doing. And as you see, it's starting to look like a wall. You see the difference? And you're going to come by after this is done, and whatever color you're going to make it, I would recommend putting a wash on to get in the crevices of the brick. And you're going to paint your bricks, any different colors that you'd want to add in to each individual bricks. Then I would recommend putting a wash over top of it. again. But yeah, so that's how you do it. You guys have a great day.